Live. It stars Over the Prairie with 8-time Minnesota Music Award-winning songwriter, musician, author, and historian, Paul Metsa. Check out previous show podcasts at kdal610.com. Now, here's Paul Metsa.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Stars Over the Prairie. This is your host, Paul Metsa, with my wingman, Chris Allen, while he's getting my headphones on. We are noting the 50th anniversary of the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald today. We've got two great guests on. It's a half-hour show today, so we're going to try to sneak it all in. Of course, the Fitz went down on November 10th, 1975, so the 50th anniversary is just this week. Coming up on Thursday, in honor of the tragic anniversary, there will be a great event at the Richard Bong Veterans Historical Center in Superior, Wisconsin. And we have the lady, Brianna Fiant, that's going to tell us about that. But first up, we are going to be chatting with a man I've known for years. He's from my hometown, and he actually served on the Edmund Fitzgerald. And we're going to see what day in the life of serving on the Fitz was. His name's Ray Ferboni. He served in 1969. When I was doing my research on the Edmund Fitzgerald, it actually went out for its first voyage on June 7th, 1958, and that date stuck with me, and a little more research, that was the day Prince was born. Crazy Minnesota and Wisconsin connections there. This coming Thursday at the Richard Bong Historical Center, it will feature Great Lakes historian Ryan Mahalik, who's going to recount the story of the ship's final voyage, and veteran meteorologist Dave Anderson, who will provide expert commentary on the weather conditions on that day. We're trying to get a hold of my buddy Ray Ferboni. How's the phone lines going there, Chris?
Well, so far, it's like dealing with the David Letterman phones. Remember how he used to dial like 8 times to finally get through? For some reason, I'm having a problem, but I'm getting a ring now.
Okay, great. Ray Ferboni, how are you this morning?
Wonderful, wonderful. It's a little overcast, but we can see the blue skies down south.
Beautiful. Well, Ray and I grew up the Queen City there in Range, Virginia, Minnesota. And Ray, with a handful of his buddies, Michael Reardon, Jed Hayner, Rodney, and Roy Jackson, and the rest were kind of the first hippies that came to town and tried to corrupt the rest of us. But he's actually straightened out his life. Now, Ray, I was talking to my buddy Kelly Hodgkins, did you have a bookstore with Jed and Peggy?
Yes, the Renaissance Bookstore.
Right. That was right on 3rd Avenue, right off Chestnut Street. Now, Kelly reminded me, I remember when we used to go there, you had a waterbed in the middle of the store.
We did. We also sold waterbeds.
I'm glad you sold waterbeds instead of just having one there.
That's a good combo. Well, let's see, how can we make money? We sell books, and then somebody said, and waterbeds.
That'd be Peggy.
That's better than having a couch in your store. You just grab a book and go on the bed, right?
They did, yep.
Well, Ray, we really appreciate taking time to speak with us this morning. So you served on the Edmund Fitzgerald in 1969. Tell us how you got the job.
Well, I was going to UMD, living with Michael Reardon in an apartment, and was watching the boats go by. He says, you can go down to the lake carriers and get yourself a seaman's card, and he says the rest, just do that. And so I went to the lake carriers, and Jack, I remember his name, he had to sit there every day, and there'd be 5 or 6 other people there waiting to get on a boat. Some were deckhands, some were wheelsmen, some were oilers. But it was my turn, and I happened to have a seaman's card, and he said, okay, you're going to take the pride of the lake, Ray. You're lucky. up in Silver Bay. Go pick her up. It's the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Wow.
So Michael brought me up there and brought me right to the dock, drove right up. I got out, and I said, "Where's the boat, Mike?" He says, "That's it right there." The ballast was all pumped out, so it was way out of the water. It looked like a huge steel wall. And the deck watch throws down the line, "Tie up your duffel bag." And so I tied up and pulled it aboard, and Mike said, "I'll be seeing you."
Wow. What do you have to do to get your seaman's card? Do you have to take a test? Or
just a physical.
Wow.
That's all you need. You start off at the lowest level. You'd be either a wiper, that means a coal passer if it's a coal-fired boat, or if you're on the forward end, you'd be a deckhand. So I was a deckhand.
Wow. Well, last time I bumped into you at the food co-op there in Virginia, you still look like you're in shape, like you were just got off the high school football team.
Yeah, right.
So tell us what was a day in your life on the boat?
Well, they got you up early in the morning, had breakfast, went down to the galley, had breakfast. Then when you're underway, you just chipped and painted. You chipped all day. You chipped in the tunnels. You chipped outside the boat, everywhere. The hatch covers. That's what you did. You're painting pretty much all day. Then when you got up to the Sioux, they threw you over on a bosun's chair, dropped you down to the docks, and grabbed the line and walked the boat through the Sioux. And then when you got through the Sioux, later on in life, I would know that the captain always honked his horn, give him the captain's salute at his relative's place, about 2 miles downbound out of the Sioux. And the flags were kind of tattered and torn, so I went and clap, we need new flags. Why we need new flags? They're tattered and torn. And we're going by your relative's house, and it'd be nice. He says, "What'd you do with them?" I says, "I put them in my duffel bag." And he says, "From now on, you give them to me." And I says, "Yes, I'll always remember that, Cap." So I got the flags off the Edmund Fitzgerald, the Columbia steamship flag and the Canadian flag. I took all three of them.
Wow.
And I fly them every so often on November 10th at Grand Marais at the Coast Guard station. I've been doing that for a whole bunch.
Well, good for you, man. So how long, so tell us what you took off, you picked it up at Grand Marais, but usually would sailors board in Superior and then to do the journey?
Yeah. Well, wherever the boat docked. It docked.
Okay.
When I was on there, it was like a milk run from Toledo, Ohio to Silver Bay. Every 5 days you were in Silver Bay. Every 5 days you were in Toledo, Ohio. And that's where you picked up your, if you needed any people. And remember one time we were coming through Detroit, right by Detroit, and a boat comes by, and you scream down, 3 Detroit Free Press, and can't remember the other magazine paper. And we'd pick up the papers, and one of the headlines said, "Canadian boat makes new record for hauling tonnage." And the Fitz was made to break records. So Peter P. Pulser, the captain at the time, said, "Break that record." No, they called him and told him, "Break that record." We came back to Toledo, topped off, scraping our ground through the Sioux locks. You could see the mud coming up. And the Corps of Engineers people there said, "Your watermarks are way low. You're too deep in the water. What's wrong?" A second mate said, "We're pumping out our ballast tanks. We had water in our ballast." Okay, go through. Fitzgerald breaks the record.
Wow.
Peter P. Pulser got a call that day and said, "Now break that record." And we did.
Wow, that's a ballsy captain.
Yeah. He always bragged that he had a third-grade education, but he knew how to handle an oar boat.
Wow.
He spent his whole life, and he knew what he was doing.
Did you run, Ray Forboni, did you run into any really difficult seas and water while you were traveling on your through your journeys?
Oh, yeah.
Inland Fits?
Oh, yeah. I was in 23-foot waves, and that's the old-timers, like, is this a bad storm? Oh, no, this isn't bad yet. Oh, no. No matter what storm, oh, no, this isn't bad yet. But I remember on one particular storm, the waves went on. You could see in a long way away the white just picking up and the wind ripping the top of the waves off. And it looked like an endless, whatever it looked like. And I grabbed the rail, and the lake is alive. The lake said to me, "This is what I am.
Wow.
This is what you are."
Right.
Yeah, I get you.
Right.
It is alive. It really is, I think.
Now,
it has its spirit.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you, do you get seasick at all, or did you have to take any medication?
No, I never got seasick. I don't know. I should have, but I never did. I got car sick when I was a kid, but I didn't get seasick.
Wow, crazy. Ray, we appreciate you taking your time. I want to ask one more question before we have to go to break. Did you know any of the sailors that remained on the ship that went down in 75?
Yes, I did. Yeah. I knew the wheelsman and the third engineer, and probably a couple others, because usually you stay with the boat for a while. But yeah. John Simmons, a good guy. He was always nervous, and he'd take his food from the mess hall, and he'd go out and he'd chew a bit and he'd spit it out. John, why are you on this boat? Why do you keep doing this? It's the only life I know, he says. I thought, whoa, hope that's not karma.
Wow. So how long were you on the Fitz? What was your stay?
I came on in April, and I left in September. I went back to school.
Wow. Well, we are remembering our friend Mike Reardon, who also served on that ship. And
he's a good wheelsman.
Yeah, and all of the 29 that went down. Ray Fraboni, this has been just some great insight, and thank you for your service on the Fitz. Have a beautiful weekend. I'll look forward to seeing you when I'm back up in our hometown.
Okie dokie. You stay well.
Okay, you too, Ray. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Gray Wolf Lodge, located on gorgeous Pelican Lake in beautiful Orr, is the great getaway in northern Minnesota. Featuring affordable, modernized cabins that rent by the week or even a few days, Gray Wolf Lodge is your place to treat the family or just yourself for a relaxing time away from it all. With great fishing, yoga classes, massage, boat rentals, a sandy beach, a common gathering area with a fire pit, and the gorgeous and rustic Gray Wolf Lodge, hosts John and Carol have thought of everything for your unforgettable stay. Give them a call at 1-800-840-9653 or go to graywolflodge.com to see all that they have to offer. Gray Wolf Lodge, your home away from home in the North Woods.
I'm Zach, and I had Z-LASIK at Weiss Eye Center. I was sick of wearing glasses. I've had glasses since third grade. Dealing with the nuisance of glasses has kind of reached that point of I just need to get LASIK. I was a little nervous, but knowing now what that process all entailed, I wouldn't have been nervous if I knew. Everybody's really nice here. Not a bad thing to say about anybody. Everybody's happy, and everybody here's nice. And I mean, it's day one post-op, and I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Weiss Eye Center is the only clinic to offer blade-free Z-LASIK in the Northland. To find out more and to arrange your free consultation, call 218-625-1917 today or visit weisseyecenter.com for more information. Weiss Eye Center. See the best.
Listen to previous Stars Over the Prairie shows on our podcast page at kdal610.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Welcome back to Stars Over the Prairie. This is your host, Paul Metsa. We have a short show today because we got to carry the UMD football team on 11:30, but we're going to continue this discussion next week. I had the pleasure of opening up for Gordon Lightfoot in 1997. I want to tell you folks about that. We will also have Dave Stanberg, a KDL DJ to this day, who was one of the first DJs in the country to play Gordon Lightfoot's The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
He's going to be all over Canadian radio on Monday.
Wow.
He did the interview this morning, and they're going to play it on Monday, so he's going to be all over the radio. And rumor has it he has a gold record with his name on it from Gordon Lightfoot.
Wow, that is very cool. Well, we will be looking forward to talking to Dave next week. But today we have Brianna
Fiant.
Brianna Fiant. I have, it's too early in the morning, but Brianna Fiant, and she runs the Richard Bong Veterans Historical Center over there in Superior, Wisconsin, and they have a great event coming up on November 13th. Brianna Fiant, tell us about what's going to happen over at the Bong Center.
Yeah, we're really excited to help commemorate this 50th anniversary. So we have a Great Lakes historian. His name is Ryan Mihalik. And he's going to talk all about the night, the ship's voyage, and the conditions that it encountered, along with Dave Anderson from Northern News Now. So he's going to come in and talk about the weather conditions. I think it's going to be a really interesting mix.
Dave will be very good on his own.
Yes, he will.
Dave is a great speaker. So even if it falls short on the other side, which I doubt, Dave Anderson will carry.
Yeah, we're excited to get Dave there.
Chris Allen, you had mentioned, you've got some facts about the Edmund Fitz.
I was a big Edmund Fitzgerald junkie when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And the Arthur M. Anderson, the boat that searched for the Fitz, came in on the 9th with the Fitz and left on the 10th after the Fitz.
Yeah.
Every year since then, the Arthur M. Anderson comes in on the 9th and leaves on the 10th.
Wow.
And they released a CD-ROM some time ago about you can put it in your computer and it shows you where the Fitz sank and how it's sitting. It has some pictures because, obviously you can't see all of them.
Right.
But it has some pictures of the Fitz underwater and some of when they went down and searched underwater, it has some of the videos for that too. And then it's got all kinds of information that you can read on this CD-ROM.
Now, Chris, you would know, so did they find the Coast Guard helicopters, did they find where the Fitz went down, about 4 days later?
Yeah, I want to say it was about 4 or 5 days later. They kind of figured it out. I think they sent down some kind of submersible and figured it out, or they got a beacon signal or something like that, but they were able to figure it out. Do you know?
Yeah, they did send down a submersible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so Brianna, tell us more about your involvement. Have you done how long have you been at the Richard Bong Center?
Well, I've been there 11 years.
Okay. Have you done Edmund Fitzgerald tributes before? And
no,
this is the first one.
This is the first one.
Oh, great!
And it really evolved because I joined a group called the Friends of the Fitz. And our goal was to put up a historical marker. There's nothing in Superior that designates Superior as the last port of call.
Wow.
Superior was the last place that Edmund Fitzgerald was. And so on land. And so we started about a year and a half ago raising money to build this marker. And it is going to be dedicated tomorrow at 2 p.m. That's the exact time that the Edmund Fitzgerald left Superior 50 years ago. And I'll just plug the marker really quick because I think it's going to be an amazing marker. Everything on the marker is symbolic. So the base is the colors that represent the stone and the colors of Lake Superior. We have ore dock posts from Loon's Foot Landing. And then we have 29 stones leading up on the path to the marker. And the most important one, we have taconite pellets that are laid all across the top of the marker.
And where is that going to be tomorrow?
It is going to be on Barker's Island, right across from the hotel on the bayside. And so there will be a dedication at 2, and then afterwards everybody will come back to the Bong Veterans Center for a reception.
Wow. And I imagine you probably have relatives of a few of the sailors that went down.
I hope so. I hope that we hear from a few. I think there are a few people in town still, so I think it'd be amazing if somebody came that was a family member.
Tell the people out there, we just, Stars Over the Prairie now is broadcasting all over the Iron Range, Grand Rapids, up to southern Canada, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and deeper parts of Wisconsin. Tell them who Richard Bong was.
Oh, sure. Richard Bong was a World War II pilot. He is the highest scoring U.S. pilot in history. So he shot down 40 airplanes in World War II.
And a Superior native. Did he come back and after his service in the Air Force, did he come back to Superior to live? Or
no, he never returned to live. He ended up going out he got married and ended up going out to California and became a test pilot at Lockheed, where he was unfortunately killed in August of 45
in a test flight?
In a test flight of one of the first jets.
Wow. So what... tell us a little bit more about what people can see at the Richard Bong Historical Center in Superior.
Sure. So we are named after Richard Bong, but we honor all local veterans. So we have exhibits World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and our goal is to tell the big story, but through local eyes. So you hear lots of local stories, how local people helped the war effort, what they did, their accomplishments, and their bravery.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. Now, tell us, remind us one more time of who is speaking on Thursday, and how can people get tickets, or is it a free event?
So it's a free event on tomorrow, Sunday at 2 p.m. at Barker's Island. Just show up, and we'll have the director of the Wisconsin Historical Society there, along with some other speakers, the mayor of Superior, and then that's a free event. And then again on Thursday, 6:30 p.m. at the Bong Center to hear Ryan and Dave Anderson, and that is a free event as well.
Wow. I remember, Chris, you're a little younger than me, but I remember the night that the Fitz went missing. I remember
me too.
Dennis Anderson.
Yes.
On the air.
I was watching that broadcast too.
Yeah, and Dennis, of course, who's now in the Minnesota Broadcasters Hall of Fame from my hometown of Virginia, Minnesota, got his start on WHLB, where I did a couple of years in high school as the morning DJ, the Sunshine Boy. But I remember it was such a stunning and scary event.
Yeah, it was.
Unbelievable.
And it was on national news. I remember that, too.
Yeah. Just incredible. Well, we really want to thank Ray Ferboni, my hometown buddy, for being so kind to share stories of working on the Edmund Fitzgerald. Brianna Fiant for being here with us today. I'm going to see you tomorrow. I'm going to see you Thursday night. Chris, thanks for your knowledge about the Fitz. And thanks for listening to Stars Over the Prairie. How much time do we got?
About 20 seconds.
All right. Well, we're going to be back next week. We're going to carry it on with David Sandberg, the DJ who played the record, the Edmund Fitzgerald, for the first time. And more, follow me at paulmetsa.com. And like my dad used to tell me, remember to be kind and make someone happy. Have a beautiful day.
And I wish I could see